This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning, good morning. It's Christmas. I'm not even going to say it since you tried to get me, but right back like we never left. It's the W Show, 100.1 FM, Kansas City. If this is your first time checking us out, we appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. You didn't say that.
Facts.
Good morning. We're live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House in the 18th Divine Jazz District. They're doing Spin with the Grinch this morning. Come down, get some pictures taken. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
It's Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. Oh.
Are we feeling the spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got my red on.
Yeah, you did. I got my red on.
I got my
Cues,
green
the
on.
Grinch.
The Grinch.
I got my green on.
That's not Christmassy, though. Is it?
Why not? Red and green?
Green is for the
Grinch.
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 No. that's neon green.
Well, you
No,
got the
no.
neon green on the zipper.
Exactly.
Okay. Some of the Grinches popping out.
Yeah, it's like his Grinch chest hair coming out.
I have somewhat been a Grinch this year because I did like 5 Christmas parties last week. So I'm like Christmas partied out this week. It's like, how many times can you hear Jingle Bells?
So at a Christmas party, like, what's your first like go-to song? Like, you opening up your set, what's your go-to?
If I'm opening up the set, well, like,
is it different every time?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. Like sometimes I'll have like a certain cluster of songs I'll mix together and kind of throw in, different orders. But if I'm opening up a Christmas set, because I'll usually end it with this Christmas. So maybe all I want for Christmas is like
What's the biggest
party
Christmas
song.
bop of all time?
For me, it's like it's either Let It Snow or this Christmas.
Okay.
Which this Christmas version?
Oh, Donny Hathaway.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like the Chris Brown.
Yeah, I mean, of course you do. You were born in the 90s. I expected you to like that. Like Donny Hathaway is my parents' music.
Right. What Christmas songs like mesh together really well? Like, if you're mixing it, which ones go together?
Oh shoot, I don't remember. I have to do that on the fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's his magic.
I
You can't
kinda-
give up his
okay, give up
Christmas
that.
magic.
Okay, I just want to know if
Steve.
there's like
That's
a
his
one that you
magic.
know, just like, hey, I could just throw this together and then I know it just goes.
Nah, because I've got like a lot of remixes too. So like every year, different DJs put out like Santa Claus is coming to town over current like.
Oh, that's dope.
So
That's tough.
yeah, so it's cool like that. You can find little remixes and from year to year you can kind of get creative with it.
Santa Claus is coming to town over Lil Baby. That'd be dope.
What a remix.
Man.
What a remix.
Yeah.
All right, we appreciate everyone joining in on today's show. We've got a lot to talk about. We the Chiefs, since we're talking Christmas Day, they'll be taking on the Las Vegas Raiders at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium coming on Christmas Day. A lot of fans are upset about that. We'll dive into that. The Bills are 9th in the AFC, but have the 7th best Super Bowl odds. Go figure. Y'all believe that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. And Drew Lock. I know Q is excited about this one. We'll talk about Kansas City native. He leads the drive of his career, is what it's being called, with the late touchdown pass to give the Seahawks a crucial 20-17 win over the Eagles. And we'll dive into some Simone Biles talk. She's in the headlines this week with her husband, Jonathan Owens. He had some comments on the pivot. Friends of the show, we'll dive into that. And we'll get to our sneakers of the week in about 30 minutes during our Hate It or Love It segment. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Now, Santa and the Raiders are coming to town as part of NFL's Christmas Day games. The Chiefs are taking on the Raiders at GEHA Field, just like Steven mentioned. Like you said, a lot of people are disappointed about this one. What are our thoughts on this one?
I mean, the disappointment comes where I guess you get Chiefs fans or football fans in general with younger kids, and they don't want to go to a noon game on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. I said yesterday that football really doesn't belong on Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. I think that's more for NBA.
NBA, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you get to. I remember back in the day, you look forward to seeing what sneakers the guys had on, what when they're walking. What I love that part of it, but football, that's gonna be weird. I know there's been other NFL, the Christmas has fallen on other NFL days, but it wasn't like a Thursday or Wednesday or Monday. So
this is a Monday, so it just feels weird.
Yeah.
It's like it throws the week off.
It does. Monday. You think about Monday Night Football, like. Christmas Day is gonna feel like Sunday.
Yeah,
it really is.
Like I really get thrown off, and especially now. Maybe it's because I'm older, but my days get thrown off too easy.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe it's just an excuse because you're like, oh, my week's messed up, because we had a day earlier in the week. But I don't know. But I don't think it's necessarily a problem. I mean, a lot of people are spinning it to make it as a Christmas gift or a Christmas experience. I mean, families are in town. That's something to do. And if you've always wanted to go to a Chiefs game, now you can knock it out in one trip. I mean, I don't know. I see both sides of it, though.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I don't have young kids, so, I mean, it really doesn't matter to me either way. But, I mean, there's people that do. I mean, you think about it. Kids wake up, let's just say, give or take, 7, 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time on a game day, you'd be 7, 8 a.m. You'd be out at the parking lot starting your tailgate.
Yeah.
Especially like on a Sunday, and so in parking lot, I think open. So if you're going to the game, parking lots do open at 7. I don't know how many people will be there at 7, but
they'll be there.
You think so?
They'll be there.
So if you got young kids, what do you do on that day? Do you just say, all right, we holding off on
open them at midnight,
really?
And then 1 o'clock get your butt in bed because we got to be on the road by 6:30.
Okay.
I think they'll just make it afterwards. Like you get up, you go to the game, that's Christmas morning, and then you have Christmas dinner, do the gifts and everything at the end of the day. Call it a wrap.
We can tell you've never met an impatient kid. You're going to tell the kids.
I was the impatient kid.
You're going to tell the kids to, like, you got to go sit at the tailgate from like 8 a.m. to like the game doesn't start till noon. And then the game's not over till 3. You're not out of traffic until Tuesday at 4:45 p.m. And you're telling the kids to wait? Oh no!
You don't think they'll be excited and hype about the game in itself, or no? It's about the presents. They care less about the Chiefs game.
No, they want their gift. They want their gift. Because I don't even know what the new what's the new gift that's the toy that's out? Because I don't even know. Well,
I mean, it's probably a gaming system.
What's it called? This Nintendo Switches and stuff. Switch. I feel like those are popular.
You got the little handheld PS5, right? Is that the new thing? I don't know.
That's the Switch, right?
Yeah.
With the controllers that you can take off on the side.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm too old.
Me too.
And no kids.
Well, like you said, you could tell I don't have kids.
Because they be bugging you all day.
Now, game talk. What are we expecting out of the Chiefs?
Let's just go back to rewind to week 12 when they played the Raiders in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
They started off down 14 points.
Mm-hmm.
They had to battle back. This is a different Raiders team. People are making a big deal out of the 63 points that they put up last week versus the Chargers. And then not only that, you get to the week before that, they had a donut in the score column. So now it's like, what Raiders team are you going to get? You see they've been committed to running the ball.
Which they should.
Yeah, they should. And I don't feel like you want to go down 14. You don't want to get a deficit like that because they've been running the ball really well.
And especially in this nasty weather.
Is it nasty? I don't think so.
I mean, the field is going to be saturated some.
I don't know. I think Arrowhead's ground crew.
I mean, they're
it's
good.
covered up
Yeah.
right now, so it'll
Yeah.
be pretty dry. But I feel like you don't want to go down to them. That's the team that's coming here with a lot of confidence, new coach, something to play for. They're still playing for a playoff spot. I know they're hoping for a Christmas miracle, but they're still in contention. And if the Chiefs fall on Monday night, man, you don't want to go as a wild card. I feel like in these playoffs,
this Chiefs team doesn't want to. Be a wild card.
I don't think. I really don't think you do. I really feel like you have to win out in order to improve your chances to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they definitely do. What do you think about in division rivalry games such as that Raiders-Chargers game going that lopsided? Is that did the Chargers give up, and especially give up on their coach, knowing he was out the door?
No, I think it was a lot of turnovers. You don't have Justin Herbert. You don't have Keenan Allen. Mike Williams, of course, was injured at the beginning of the season. So there's a lot of things that's going wrong with the Chargers. I think they've just given up on their season as a whole, like you said. But the Raiders just, I mean, they came through on all of the turnovers that they were able to get.
And do you worry about a team that is gaining that confidence, especially being the team that was up 14 really early in the game? Like, do you worry about that confidence? Because I think that's almost the get right game. I think that last week was supposed to be for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I watched an interview that a couple of the players had on the Raiders team, and one guy specifically was like, "I'm tired of losing to this Chiefs team." When you get guys that are coming in like that, they're going to be playing with a different type of fire.
Yes,
and that's the type of fire that we saw. And I hate going back to the New England Patriots when they used to come to Kansas City or Chiefs play them, and Tom Brady would beat the Chiefs every year.
Yes,
and they'd be like, "Man, I'm tired of losing to Tom Brady," and that's the fire that the Raiders are coming into Kansas City with. And I don't know, what do y'all think? Because I think when you're playing a team like that, it's very tough to overcome.
And I mean, I thought it would be tough when they played in Vegas a couple of weeks ago. I think they had just gotten, their new coach, their interim head coach, like a week or two before.
Yeah.
It seemed like they played
Antonio
very,
Pierce.
very motivated for Coach Pierce. But I feel like sometimes that wears off, and especially when you face a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, because now that he's gotten a little more comfortable spreading it around, I don't know if they will be able to control the tempo of the game, and especially on the road. Because I mean, you know how hard it is for like teams to really gain that momentum on the road, but a lot of times it just takes that that touchdown and then a turnover type thing. Like, it takes a momentum bust. But I don't know if the Raiders have the wherewithal. There's the ability of the players, but then there's also like coaches being out coached this year. And I think we're seeing that like lopsidedness, because a lot of the young coaches are really getting it handed to them by, the Andy Reids and the different really experienced coaches. So I don't know. I don't think the Raiders come in and steal this one, even though it is an opportunity, because it's an in-division game.
Yeah, and I have to agree with Steve kind of, because I think they're coming in here with nothing to lose, basically. And I think that's the scary part about it. And with a confident Chiefs team, okay, I wouldn't be worried, but it's week to week. Like, quite frankly, every week we don't really know what we're gonna get. And I think that's the scary part of not having the confident Chiefs team versus a team that has nothing to lose. And that's when those crazy outcomes happen, is when a team has nothing to lose and you come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And then it's the Chiefs have, you think about them though, they have a lot to play for too. I mean, they win this game, they win their 8th consecutive AFC West titles. I think that's huge. Then you have Travis Kelce, who's about a little bit over 80 yards shy of 1,000 yards for this season, which will be his 8th consecutive 1,000-yard season for a tight end. That's huge.
And a player like him is thinking about his search engine optimization by breaking a record on Christmas.
Yeah.
So just being able to have his name on the business end, being able to be Googleable on a day like that, it just makes it more the merrier.
A Christmas miracle. Like
And I was reading. Speaking of that, I was reading something about Kelsey that said he has the most commercials as an athlete, like of all time, in one year. I think he has something where it's like 360 something commercials that have aired this year.
That's crazy. But I mean, he's the guy that, and we saw it before he even had the dating show. Like, he's the guy that kind of always had that charisma, and it's tough to not put somebody in front of the camera like that, especially when they're loved by both sides of America. Right. So
yeah, it's 375 commercials during the NFL games, more than any other player this season. Yeah, I mean, the sponsorship of he and Taylor Swift. I mean, I feel like the sponsorship of just himself being with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't really put any commercials on her because a lot of the things he filmed was in the off season. So
right, because he's not doing anything in season.
Yeah,
which is what people forget when you put that out there. It's like, oh, well, maybe that's why he didn't catch that ball because he's worried about commercials. Nah.
That production happened long before the season.
Right.
Now, the Buffalo Bills are 9th in the AFC, but have the 7th best Super Bowl odds after wins over the Chiefs and Cowboys. Steve, how do you feel about this one?
It's interesting. I mean, they're look. I was asked this yesterday as well, and it was like, well, who do you think the Chiefs? The question was, who do you think the Chiefs don't want to play in the playoffs?
It's probably 3 teams, but who do you think?
And I would say right now, number one is the Bills if they are able to make it.
I'd say number one is Baltimore.
Baltimore is probably going to be, if they beat San Francisco on what is it, Sunday? If they play on Sunday, I think, or Sunday or Monday. If they beat San Francisco on Monday, then I would say Baltimore probably has got a great shot of being the number 1 seed.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say probably. I think that team is very electric right now, and I think those are the teams that this current Chiefs team is going to struggle with. But yeah, they don't want to play the Bills,
yeah,
the Dolphins, or the Ravens.
Yeah. But if the Ravens beat the 49ers, I feel like the Bills are that first team up in the wild card where you probably, I don't know if you go to Buffalo or if they come. I think Buffalo will have to come to Kansas City in the wild card situation just because of the records. But if their records end up being the same, which I need to see what if that's possible. But if their records end up being the same, the Bills would have the tiebreaker. So you'd go to Buffalo.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I feel like the Chiefs have to lose every game.
Place to play in January.
I haven't been to Buffalo to watch a game yet, so I don't
think you want to in January.
I do. I want to scratch that stadium off my stadium tour list. So.
In January, though.
In January,
right.
yeah.
Hopefully, you know an Eskimo or two. Give you some advice.
Yeah, I mean Toronto's right there, so yeah.
I'll go any other time of the year, not January though.
Okay. But Buffalo, I think Buffalo is they're up and coming. I think Josh Allen has figured out he has to put it in his own hands. Stephon Diggs is gonna be Stephon Diggs. So yeah, I can see that. Would you put your money that Buffalo makes the playoffs?
Yeah. With a team like that's kind of been together, you got a lot of veterans. Losing early in the season doesn't really matter, especially if you can put it together at the end of the season. Like post week 10, if you can string together 4 or 5 wins, you're a playoff team. And that's what makes this Buffalo team scary.
And I think, especially with an experienced team, I don't think that's too much to ask for.
Yeah, the Chiefs, if they lose out, would be 9-8. Buffalo would go to 11-6. So you'd go to Buffalo.
Yeah, because they're only one game over Buffalo right now. So
yeah, which is crazy to say. And then you still got to worry about those Broncos.
And then Buffalo, I mean, because Buffalo only has the Chargers this week, so you look at that again as like that get right game.
Yeah.
And then right after that, they play the Patriots and end the season with the Dolphins. So, I mean, you could be looking at a team that, I mean, they could win out, because even that Sunday game against the Dolphins at the end of the season, it doesn't even have like a time to be played. So that could be, yeah.
And the Chiefs, if they don't win, let's just say they lose every game, they'll be 9-8. The Broncos, if they went out, they would be they'd be 10-7. And the Raiders would have a tied record with the Chiefs at 9-8.
Is that funny because of all the Broncos jokes you had early on in the season?
Oh yeah.
Because you weren't listening. Remember, you weren't listening to me. You know we have those recorded, right?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Russ is playing, but then again, they have their up moments, and then you get like what happened last week, where Russ was getting,
It happens.
yelled at and screamed at on the sideline by his coach, belittled by his coach.
I mean, it happens. I mean, it happened between Eric Bieniemy and Patrick.
Yeah.
Like, it happens, but I think what they have right now are those growing pains. Like Sean Payton, and it's difficult because Sean Payton is a coach that we've seen do a lot of great things with Drew Brees and that Saints team. We saw them. What was it? He passed for 4,500 yards for like 5-6 seasons in a row. So being able to work so well with a quarterback like that already has the skills, the intangibles, and the experience.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, once you get towards that end of the season, yes, you need to be playing like a veteran, a former Super Bowl starting quarterback. Like, you need to be playing at the top of your game. But that just hasn't been the culture there. Now, Sean Payton comes in, kind of helps turn that culture around. That's a team you would have to worry about in the AFC West, and I think it's coming to rear its head a lot earlier than anybody expected.
Now, Asia O'Neal, Texas volleyball star, daughter of NBA's Jermaine O'Neal, has overcome heart surgeries to lead Texas Longhorns. Texas has been one of the most dominant volleyball programs in the nation. And she's also in talks for being one of the top draft picks also. Q, your thoughts on this one?
I mean, that's crazy to come back from heart surgery and to be able to lead a team like that. But I mean, it also shows like that reckless abandon you have when you're young and dedicated to a sport. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
Insane.
I'm a little torn because you get a story like this that's an amazing story. Whereas, let's not forget, her dad is a former NBA All-Star, right? Which with that comes money, comes the best
care,
health care, becomes the best. Whatever money can buy, you're going to put that towards your kid. Right. Let's take it on the flip side and see some of the kids let's just say a kid in Kansas City area has heart issues, which I'm sure there are, that have been told, hey, you can't play sport anymore, whatever sport that may be. Whereas she has that health care to say, all right, we're going to get to the bottom line of it. This is the cause. As long as you don't do X, Y, Z, you'll be fine to play. Whereas this kid from the Kansas City area is like, his parents are just going off of what the first doctor said because that's what their insurance can pay for and things like that. So I'm like, I wish it was an even playing field, which I know there's not. I know not everyone's even, nothing's the same, but I just wish that it was, because it'd be different. We wouldn't just be talking about this outlier where we're not. It's an amazing story. It's an amazing story, and kudos to her and her family. But there's still other kids out there that have sports taken away from them.
And that's crazy thing about the sports world, because it highlights those different disparities within like these supposed to be feel good stories.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and also I want to give a little bit of cred to her just for being bold enough to still pursue it. Like even that, like as an athlete in the back of your head, when you have somebody tell you that, or just even like a normal everyday person, if somebody if you go to a doctor's and they're already advising you, that's easy enough for people who already want an excuse to not work out, to not exercise, because it's like,
Right.
oh, I have a heart thing. It's not my thing,
Right,
you know?
right.
But to be bold enough to still say, like, I'm willing to take my chances, love the sport enough to take that chance. I mean, I feel like that at least deserves a little bit of creds to her, and like
Definitely.
having that wherewithal to still pursue a sport.
No, definitely, because that's an amazing story. It's like you said, being, you know, when you're an athlete and you have an injury, it takes a while to trust your body, and you don't know how to trust your heart.
Right.
Yeah. I can see that.
So like even then, like, how do you remove that from the back of your head,
Yeah.
back of your mind? So again, that's why I'm like, that's crazy, because I couldn't imagine getting my chest cut open and then any couple of months after I'm back out
Yeah. And
doing a college sport. So
And even like the moment that you get a little bit too winded or lightheaded during conditioning, I feel like that would cross your mind, like, is it this, or am I just like tired and need to push myself more? You know, like, where do you draw that line of like, should I be concerned, or am I making myself better? And I think that'd be so hard. Like, that'd be such a constant mind game.
Yeah, you got to think about it too. Like we talked about, her dad's a former professional athlete. I think that a little bit of that has been instilled. I mean, you look at Bronny James, right, going through the same. He didn't have heart surgery, but it was reported that he had a heart attack where his heart stopped. And so I think in the back of his mind, he's worried about it. But then he's seen his dad go through some adversity, and that within itself helps him push through.
Facts.
Definitely.
Now, Lee Summit repping from Lee Summit myself. We got to give shouts out to Drew Lock. He leads the drive of his career with late touchdown pass to give Seahawks crucial 2017 win over Eagles. This one's a feel-good one for me, definitely.
For sure.
Steve, your thoughts on this one?
I'm gonna redirect that one to Q, because I want to hear his thoughts on it.
Hey, a dog, what is it? A sun shines on a dog's ass at some point during the day. But no, I and we talked about it during pre-production. Drew Lock is trying to become one of those like journeyman backups. And for him to, what was it, Tuesday morning, and I saw the quote that he had where, like, if you're one-on-one, I'm putting it up there, I'm getting it to you. And that, I mean, that shows, like, it shows, yes, one, he's able to make the throw and be able to see that. But then also what that shows is, and I brought it up earlier in the year and in the show today, is that sometimes coaches get out coached. And it seems like that's what's happening with this Philly team. You're getting out coached, not only on your predictable offensive play calling side, but then you're getting out coached on the defensive side, which is still a symptom of why you lost the Super Bowl. And that's a worry, because we could make a joke, but you got beat by Drew Lock. Like, this is not a quarterback to be feared. And so when you put teams in this position to beat a Drew Lock, I mean, you expect them to go in and beat the opposing team's backup quarterback, and they had a tough day the whole evening. So, you know, round of applause to Drew Lock for that, for that game. He played out of his mind, but like Steve said, he's probably playing for another contract too. So
he is, and I don't, as much as you said that he's not like an NFL starter, I think he could start on one of 32 teams, one of them. He just needs to, because I've watched Drew play over the years, and he has an arm. He has a cannon for an arm. He's mobile, as we saw when the Chiefs played them. I think it was week 17, and he came out and he torched the Chiefs when he was with the Broncos. I think that was 2020 and 2020 or 21, one and two. But I feel like Drew could be an NFL starter if he has the right pieces. Now, people take what he did in Denver when, of course, he had the front office that really didn't put forth any effort towards quarterback. You had John Elway, but I really don't feel like John Elway's kind of like Mike, and I'm not comparing the two, but he's kind of like Michael Jordan. Whereas Michael Jordan wouldn't be a good coach because his expectation would be way out of the atmosphere. And I feel like John Elway's the same way. I don't think they put together a team where he could thrive. It just depends on situation.
They gave him weapons.
You had Tim Patrick, you had Melvin Gordon, like that
they drafted Jerry Jeudy.
They're all young. They were all young.
Yes, they were building around a young quarterback.
Man.
Yes, that's the tough thing, because again, like, you have backups that end up being starters. Like, if Zach Wilson can start in the league, then Drew Lock can start in the league.
And what is he doing?
Like, that's what's happening. But you also have to put pieces around them. And I mean, they tried to put pieces around him, and then he goes to Seattle, and you would think he would be the starter, and then here comes Geno Smith, another guy with
a proven veteran, though.
But that's what I'm saying, and that's what you get. And so, like, for Drew Lock to be able to be around these different quarterbacks, clearly he's learned something.
Yeah.
And to be able to take those small things that you learn, but then put them into a game like that.
Yeah.
I mean, because the Eagles definitely had to scout for him, because I think Geno was out the whole week.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like this was a surprise. But yes, it's a surprise because you're not expecting this. But that's what, as a defensive coordinator, as a head coach, you don't let up off the gas like that. And that's things that you take from, like, Bill Belichick. Like, when the Patriots were in their dynasty, and you're asking him about teams, because they played a lot of sorry Dolphins teams, but those Dolphins teams came in and played motivated and either gave him a game or sometimes beat him.
Yeah.
And you can't. That's the game of football. If you're not all the way prepared for an opponent, no matter their record, you're gonna get a dog with a shiny ass.
Yeah. you don't think Drew could start at one of 32 teams? On one of 32, I feel like he could.
I wouldn't advise it.
Okay. I mean, like I said, it's all situational.
In a league where you have, and let's look at the top here.
Yeah.
When you have Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson.
Is that your current ranking?
I mean, it's not the current ranking.
Okay.
We're talking about, like, top quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And to be in a league like that, when you have a guy like Drew Lock, and nothing to take from Drew Lock because he's in the NFL, he makes teams, like, things like that, but you also have, like, greater athletes that can do a lot more.
Yeah.
And when you look at a guy like that, yes, you want him as a backup, but you don't want that guy leading your team, because you need certain intangibles. And the Chiefs fans have seen it with Patrick Mahomes. You've seen a guy that refuses to lose.
Now, Simone Biles and husband Jonathan Owens, unbothered amid comments and backlash, courtesy of our friends at The Pivot. Let's hear what he had to say first.
Bro, as us pretty red dimes as we are, how in the hell did you pull Simone Biles? And I love this football talk, bro. I gotta get to it. I'm over here rubbing my knees trying to answer.
Hey, Chad, I wanted to tell him, he's talking about being looked over. Now, when the right people look at you.
Yeah, that's,
you know what I'm saying?
How did you do that, bro?
Man, it's really how she pulled me, man. That's the question.
Oh,
man.
Lord Jesus. Now you with Freddie. Now it's back. now you
listen, I'm gonna tell you, organic story, man. So I just got to Houston. I probably have been to Houston 7 months. I was single at the time, so I'm just living, being me and myself. And COVID had just hit, but I had just went to Arizona, and one of my boys are like, "Hey man, you gotta check out this app, And I'm like, "Nah, I'll check it out." Like, what is it? It was called Raya at the time. So basically, it's like a dating app, but you have to go through certain, like, criteria to make sure that you're who you are. So literally, have been on the app for a couple of days, man, and it's like she pops up, and I'm like, let me see who this is. Gymnastics. I ain't never, I never really paid attention to gymnastics, so it piqued my curiosity, So I'm like, okay, I'll see what's up. I swiped her, and it said we matched, so I'm just like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna see what's up. So I go do my workout, and I come back, and I get, like, I had some likes on my Instagram.
She shot her shot.
Yeah.
Is that the real tea? How do you guys feel about this one?
I mean, here's the thing. I wonder, and we get to hear what she had to say, but I wonder how much she knew about him. Like, because we're not talking like he's a backup, like he wasn't where he's at now. And I wonder what all does she know about him? Because he's getting some messages and on people's timelines because he said, "Oh, well, I didn't know who she was. I didn't watch gymnastics." It's like at that time, who didn't know who Simone Biles was?
Right.
Like, is that a tell, or was that like your pickup? Like, oh, I don't watch gymnastics. I don't really know who you are, or is it I really know who you are, but I'm just gonna play it cool?
Yeah.
Like, it could work both ways.
And maybe that's like ultimately what she kind of found more attractive about it was that he didn't know or like was in the dark about it. Like, okay, now it's not because he's just liking me because I'm a gymnastics star. But at the same time, like you said, how do you not know?
Yeah, how do you not know? And
like,
that's that. Yeah.
Like, are you trying to humble me right now?
And
or
I think that's part of what it is. I didn't watch the whole interview or anything, but I mean, shoot, we know athletes are full of themselves sometimes, and we know how that can be. So yeah, if your girlfriend or this lady pursuing you is this all-time medal recipient, yeah, you may try to humble her and like, I don't watch gymnastics and all of this. Okay, guy. Like,
let's hear what Simone had to say.
It's crazy because she's like on there. He said the first thing I saw is that she had a bunch of Instagram followers. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she got to be good.
Duh. And you had to have seen the gold medal on the page somewhere.
Olympian. I don't even know what.
I don't know because Google works, and I don't know what she has in her bio or what she had back then in her bio, but she was a champion then. So I don't know. I don't know if I believe it, but I've also never been a professional athlete that,
what she has on her bio, and I don't know if she had this then, like you said, Q. Olympic gold medalist, margarita and mimosa lover, dog mom. Got the little lollipop, Houston, which means where she's from or where she's currently at. Snapchat, Simone Biles. So Olympic gold medalists would tell you like, bro on Paseo on 18th of Paseo ain't walking around here with a gold medal, or woman on Paseo ain't walking around here with a gold medal. So not everybody. I mean, it's not everybody has a gold medal.
I don't know if I believe he didn't know who she was.
Yeah,
especially being an athlete, but.
And honestly, props to her for being like so confident that she's unbothered by it, because I don't know that in that boat, and I guess I don't know. It's a tough call because if you're in that position, then it's like I would almost feel disrespected of like how do you not know who I am, But then we also on the other side get mad or like bothered by athletes who do act that way, or like how do you not know? So then it's like it's a hard like line of like, would I feel disrespected or would I just be like, okay, whatever? I mean,
and some women like that confidence on men.
Yeah, and whatever it is, it worked.
Yeah,
fair
enough.
It worked enough.
So maybe I should just that's the trick. I need to just start being like, I don't know that you play this or whatever. Just play oblivious. Maybe that's the key.
Okay.
Have you been on the Riot app?
I have not.
Oh. No, I've heard about these like exclusive dating apps. And he was saying you have to meet a certain criteria. Sometimes it's like income level, and they just don't let anybody on those apps. Yeah. So yeah. The Grinch.
The Grinch was behind me.
Hey, twin. That's my treacherous little twin.
Okay.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss David Carr benching Jalen Hurts. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag Talk About It. Message us. We'll talk about whatever topic you want. Holler at us. Come see the Grinch. The Grinch will even talk about topics maybe. You never know what you can get out of it.
Yeah, we got the Grinch sitting next to me, and we're here at Soiree Steak and Oyster House. So come spend with the Grinch for KC WeSpin 360. Get your photo taken with the Grinch. They're giving out hot meals and free pictures. Grinch, you doing all right? It's Christmas time. You got to have the Christmas spirit. The Grinch is like, nope.
Nah. No thanks.
He's a Scrooge for sure.
Don't jingle those bells, whatever you do.
So yeah, you come down and spend with the Grinch. Bring your kiddos. It's gonna be fun. Grinch is like, nah.
Don't pull up.
Now, the NBA G Leaguer Chance Comanche confesses to murdering woman in Vegas with ex-girlfriend as plot, revealed in the Grizzly text. This one's pretty slimy.
It is.
This one's really slimy.
It's weird because I think he just got caught up in a bad situation. Like, I was reading through the things, and it's his ex-girlfriend. She went to date someone else, and it's really weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, I need to look more into this. I just saw the headlines and saw the ridiculousness, and I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, he confessed that he was helping his ex-girlfriend she's 19, with the gruesome murder of Mariana Rogers when they were in the same area, according to Las Vegas police reports.
So he was 27 working with a girl that was 19.
Yeah. Yep, his ex.
And that was his ex.
Yep.
So she was what, 17 when they was
There's so much slime around that.
I don't know if he was in a bad situation. I think he created the situation.
Yeah. It's you gotta go read the story. It's very interesting. I think like a short film could be made about this.
It probably will be. And especially with him being in the G League, like that's prospective NBA talent. Right. So,
and to like get that caught up in it when you have so much on the line, anyways. Like, it's not like you made it and you're still trying to make it. Like you said, you're a prospect and you're getting caught up in stuff like this. Like you might have bigger issues to worry about.
Nothing from Aaron Hernandez, huh?
Man.
Right. Now, Warriors Draymond Green starts counseling, expected to miss at least 3 weeks. We've dabbled in this the past couple weeks. Q, your thoughts on this one?
I'm kind of with Steve on the Shaq train, but that's kind of because Shaq mentioned like, hey, he doesn't need counseling for playing on the court, like competition,
right?
A level of the sport. But I mean, in some ways, kinda, because like. I mean, this is the same guy that punched his teammate, and not to harp on that, but I mean, he he's tried to play the bully role for a very long time in the league, and I don't know if that's him. Like, we talked about the Bill Lambiers, we talked about the Dennis Rodmans, we talked about the different enforcers in the league, over history that that we know of. And I don't know if Draymond is that. And so he might need counseling for that, because dog, you don't need to do all that. So,
but is it fair? I know it kind of bleeds into other things. Like, yes, when you have off the court, mental situations, all that type of stuff that goes into you playing ball and affects how you play ball. But is it fair to impose those mandatory, like, for them to bleed together hand in hand? Like, what's wrong with making a suggestion that you do this outside of your sport? Maybe that will help things that happen in your sport.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's fair to make that mandatory.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
No, I don't know if it was mandatory. I feel like people in sports, like, when something goes wrong, or this is my thing on it. When people in sports, when something goes wrong or they make a mistake, their first reaction or their first disciplinary thing, or I'm just going to say I'm going to go to counseling. Like, that's the first, solution to the issue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the right solution to the issue, because sometimes I feel like you've got to understand, like, what I did was wrong, and I don't feel like Draymond understands that. Now, does counseling help that? I'm not one to say it does or it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
So I just don't feel like, I think it gets kind of watered down, because that's the first thing that people run to. It's like, oh, well, Ja Morant, because he had a gun in a club, is going to go to counseling now to figure out why he had this gun in his club. I don't understand. I think there has to, at some point, there has to be a Draymond, you're going to lose money if you keep doing this, or you're not going to be able to play in the league anymore if you keep doing this. Not he's going to seek counseling because he needs help of his aggression on the court. No, they teach you to be aggressive. Yeah. You get called soft if you're not.
Yeah.
So do you think counseling is like a slap on the wrist versus getting a real punishment then?
I mean, counseling is one of those we had to do something, but we couldn't punish him type thing.
Right.
Sure.
And I mean, if we're talking about punishments, I mean, we've told, if I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I'm seeing Ja Morant and Draymond Green go to counseling and get all of this attention, and then Josh Giddey just gets we don't really know what happened.
Yeah.
So sorry that, that looks a little funny in the light, because again, like, this
now
is,
you say that, yeah.
This is if you have to do something, like, why haven't we sent this man to counseling?
Yeah.
But also on the opposite end of that, Draymond has had
multiple run-ins
every season. Like, it's not like this is
trending at this
it's not like, oh, this happened in the playoffs in 2014 and then we see it again in 20 something. Like, nah, we've seen him do multiple things throughout every season to get fines, suspension, just whatever it is. And I think that's where they come from. It's like, dog, you've just done too much and we can't really, like, do nothing. So now, okay, go to, and that's where it just looks funny in the light, because it's like, what type of counseling does him and Ja Morant need for these things that are like Ja Morant waving around a pistol? Like, we have politicians that are waving around pistol rifles, assault rifles, with their kids in Christmas cards. So it's like, what are we talking about here? So it just. Yeah, they try to put some punishment down without actually punishing you, and I hate it, because this is a terrible conversation to have.
Yeah, and on top of that, I feel like he picks who he does that to. Like, he don't pick like a rough guy. Like, he ain't picking Anthony Edwards or somebody like that, where it's like, nah, bro, you picking these guys who are, I call it soft to Draymond, right? Like he don't pick these thugs out there. You ain't even picking them kind of guys.
You know who to try.
Yeah, you do.
Now, Alabama QB Tyler Buckner transferring back to Notre Dame to play lacrosse after the college football playoffs.
What?
Yeah. No, he's not a starter. Let's start there.
Oh, okay.
He ain't a starter, but he's still on the Alabama squad. Like if you're on an Alabama team, you look good, right?
Yeah.
You got a little game. But I mean, yeah, he's going back to play lacrosse. He's like, it ain't working here. So yeah.
He must not have met any women in Alabama that know lacrosse players.
Yeah, he made one start this season during a brief quarterback battle with Jalen Monroe and Ty Simpson. Milroe regained the starting job from Buckner and since has led Crimson Tide into college football playoff after they knocked off Georgia in the SEC championship game.
Oh yeah. Yep. Women don't like backup quarterbacks in Alabama, so you gotta go.
They don't.
You gotta go play lacrosse.
They don't.
If you're Simone Biles, you never know.
Right.
You never know.
A check is a check.
Hey, but sometimes people ain't worried about that check. It's the admiration that comes with it.
Ooh, okay.
Shots fired.
What'd you say? I could have you sitting courtside instead of the middle row.
I'm saying.
I think we need a quick break. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll dive into our Hate It or Love It segment. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com, exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
Tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag Talk About It. Message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want.
Yeah, we was talking little movies, talking about Half Baked in the break. Jazz hasn't seen it, but you got to go watch Half Baked.
I have not. I'll have to tap in.
Yeah.
What's y'all's favorite Christmas movie? I feel like that's a great talk about it right now.
Ooh.
All-time favorite Christmas movie.
My go-to would probably be Home Alone, but then this Christmas is like right up there with Home Alone.
Fair enough.
I haven't seen this Christmas.
You haven't?
I need to see it.
With Idris Elba and Chris Brown and all them?
No.
Ooh, Q.
Was that a Tyler Perry movie?
No, it wasn't.
Then I'll see it.
It wasn't. What, Q? You haven't seen this Christmas? Oh, my goodness. You haven't seen it either? Whoa.
Nah.
Broderick, have you seen it? You seen it? Oh, my goodness. We should take a poll.
Broderick was probably in college when that came out, so he had time to watch this Christmas.
This Christmas came out in like early 2000s.
I think mine.
2007. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was deep in the trenches then. Yeah. I was deep in the trenches.
So the cast on this Christmas is Idris Elba, Chris Brown, Loretta Devine, Regina King, Sharon Neal, Lauren London, Delroy Lindo, Jessica Stroop. Like a lot of cast was like this Christmas was David Banner, Laz Alonso, Mekhi Phifer.
Okay.
Yeah, Columbus Short. Oh man, this Christmas had a cast.
Yeah, I don't think I was there. Mine's got to be Polar Express, all-time favorite.
Polar Express.
Polar Express is my all-time favorite. Every Christmas.
I don't even think I saw that.
Yeah, you're tripping on that one.
So is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie?
I guess people say it is.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what they say. A lot of people say it though.
Fair enough. Let's get to our hate or love it segment.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off our sneakers of the week, we have the Nike Dunk Low Night Skies.
Yeah, I can't remember if these was the ones I liked. Yeah, those were cool because they were very simple.
Yep.
I like the simplicity of those.
I think those are my favorites this week, honestly.
Okay.
The Air Jordan 14 Black White University Red.
They all right.
I mean, yeah, they did. I like those.
Yeah, they all right. I just don't like the nubuck on the whole shoe. Like, give me some leather.
Fair enough. The Nike Dunk Low Premium Women's Bacon.
I like these, even though they're women's. I like these. These are kind of fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really dope.
Odd name, but I like the shoe. The Off-White Nike Air Terra Forma Mantra Orange.
I kind of like these for a wintertime
Hard
sneaker.
pass. Those are hideous.
I would wear these.
Those look like hiking shoes.
Yeah, because I think it's like a little mountain boot kind of like whatever they.
Yeah,
But
I wear these.
Because I'm on the fence about these. I looked at these yesterday and I'm just like, these might be a pair I need to see in person.
Yeah, and they have another color too, another colorway. So
Other colorway might be better. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll pass on those one. You can have those. Steelers wide receiver George Pickens explains why he didn't block on run near goal line versus Colts. Didn't want to get an injury. Of course, the comments didn't go over well on social media. Let's hear what Coach Tomlin had to say.
To address some George Pickens items that have been hot, I guess, in the last 24 hours. As I said at the top of the week, George is a talented guy, but he's growing in a lot of ways in regards to football and life. We don't run away from that. We run to that organizationally. When we draft guys, we're committed to being a component of their growth and development in all areas. As I mentioned earlier this week, he is very much a work in progress. And so it is continual. It's not going to be one incident.
Oh my goodness, he is a work. It's not like he reading the prompter.
Yeah.
He is very much a work in progress. As I mentioned before. Nah, come on, Coach T.
That means he leaned into him. Whatever conversation they had, he leaned into him because that was too PC.
For only $700K, you can own this home right next to the Green Bay Packers Lambeau Field. Hate it or love it.
For how much?
$700,000, $699,000.
Girl, you better come down on that price.
I have to agree with Q. Not for that price.
They are proud of that stadium,
right?
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, so that the stadium is right there in the heart of a neighborhood. So you got houses, stadium, more houses, gas station, in title towns like Westport.
Yeah, no thanks. Imagine trying to get out of your driveway. Like you got somewhere to go. Oh my goodness. You might as well forget it on a game day.
True.
No, thank you.
We appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Remember, you can come down to Swear Steak and Oyster House and spin with the Grinch. They're giving out hot meals, and it's free to spin. Get your photo taken with the Grinch for Christmas, and want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday. For the W Show, we are out of here.
Peace.
Merry Christmas.
Opinions expressed in the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.